if you go back a couple of videos, I don't know how many exactly, but a little bit ago on my channel, I did a video talking about Suzaku potentially having two Dragon Slayer types. And the reason for that was, logically, at least from what we knew at the time, like, he killed Kuranugi, and then it'd be like, well, to kill him in the first place, to even beat him in the first place, you're going to have Dragon Slaying magic. So he would have to have Dragon Slaying magic going into the fight, kill Kuranugi, eat him, and then gain Sword Saint Dragon Slaying magic. That's what I thought, at least. And in my head, I was like, well, maybe how it is, it's only the top people in Diablos that were already Dragon Slayers before joining Diablos and, like, consuming a dragon. That's at least it at the time of what I figured made the most sense. But Suzaku, during this last chapter, during chapter 86 of 100 Years Quest, revealed that he didn't actually defeat Kuranugi. It was actually Georg, and that Suzaku just ate it. So that means that makes sense of why he's only got one Dragon Slaying type, and it is specifically the one that he consumed, that being Kuranugi. So when it comes to Georg now, Georg has not only the fact of he's probably already got Dragon Slaying attributes, I would assume. At least before that point, he would have to have Dragon Slaying magic before we get to the point of, like, killing Kuranugi in the first place. Well, who knows, like, how many, like at what point he got it. There's the fact, though, that when consuming dragon meat is when you get the magic and type of whatever dragon that was in Dragon Slaying magic. So Georg, who wants to eat the dragon gods, who clearly has been there for the defeat of other dragons, like, how many different dragon meats has he eaten? And because of that, like, how many types of Dragon Slaying magic does he actually have? Like he, because of what we got from Suzaku, means that he isn't limited to just having one Dragon Eater type. As far as we know, he could have eaten dragon meat from literally every single member of Diablos' dragons before, they actually fully consumed them themselves. Which would make sense because he'd have the resources, and clearly, like, he's about eating dragons, and then it would make sense to why he's so powerful. Now, there's a theory that kind of, like, I don't think I'm the one who thought of it. I don't remember. I'm at least the oldest that I'm aware of that brought it up. Like, I'm not gonna try and, like, be like, I was first. I just, as far as I remember. But I'm only saying that just because, like, it's been a bit since the idea came up, like, way back. I think the first time I brought it up was, like, shortly after Georg's introduction. But it's like, how did Diablos become Dragon Eaters in the first place? Like, what made them so powerful in the first place? They're able to do what they're doing. And it was like, well, the general idea, it's a weird theory, but what if Georg got Acnologia's arm after the events of Tartarus in some way, somehow, who knows, and ate it and then gained out power? Because that would make sense to me why he would, like, be so powerful, like, as, like, not like that he couldn't be powerful on his own, but kind of like a fast pass to being extremely powerful, just based off of, like, how Dragon Eater, like, the whole idea of how Dragon Eaters work, and then obviously the dragon that would be consumed, like Acnologia, it would make sense why he would kind of, like, skip right to being, like, top tier, like, just from that alone. But it also makes sense if he just, like, consumed all these dragons over time and gained chunks of their power. I would really like to see him with multiple types fighting, because he's like God Serena in that aspect. If God Serena didn't make the terrible decision to fight Acnologia, like, we could get a multi-type dragon slaying antagonist. And the quote unquote label antagonist really depends on, like, where he's going to be at by the time, or where the relationship between Fairy Tail and Diablos is at by the time we get to Georg, because we know that they're mostly conflicted against each other over a misunderstanding. We found that through Suzaku. So I would assume that if they kind of, like, sat down, talked it over, they would realize, like, yeah, we actually don't have beef with each other, we should team up. Because, like, Suzaku especially, like, Suzaku will get along with a lot of the Fairy Tail main cast members, and a lot of Fairy Tail members in general. The fact that he's clearly cares about people in his guild and cares about his guild, so, like, that'll automatically get him brownie points for, to pretty much anybody in the Fairy Tail guild. So Georg holds a lot of potential, not just in, like, obvious, like, badass. He's a badass looking dude. He's been pretty cool so far. He's got a lot of potential hype. But I mean, like, he holds a lot of lore pieces. Because, like, if it's not that he ate Acnologia's arm, like, my other guess would be, like, he's just has been doing this for a long time, and he would be a direct doorway into more dragon lore, seeing characters actually fight dragons 1v1, because like we've only gotten dragons fights for the most part for big dragons. Acnologia, Animus, Irene, well, yeah, I'm counting the Dragon Slayer turning dragons, but you know what I mean, like Mercephobia, Alderaan, all the dragons that have been primary enemies within the series have all been really big, important dragons, and I would really like to see it, like, either through Kurunugi or any of the Diablos dragons, just like seeing a character fight like an average dragon, like a regular dragon. How would that go? Not like world-ending dragon, not like anything kind of too crazy, just to kind of get like an idea of where they sit. I think Georg has a really good set of potential just to give us information and bits in the story that I think we don't have, because like Elefsaria is like 100 plus something years old. We could easily get that, if not older, from Georg. And characters like that who are obviously around during different times can give us just general different information bits. And somebody obviously directly adjacent to stuff going on with dragons, Georg is he's a well of information. Especially because if he's been getting the Diablos members dragon meat and killing dragons, that would mean that he likely knows how to find them. And I do think that there are still more dragons out there in the world. They're just hiding. They're only starting to kind of like come out and do stuff, I would assume, because Acnologia is gone. But for the most part, I would assume they're all hidden somewhere in the world. I don't think it's just the dragon gods. Like, I would assume there's, like, not like a lot, but there's just kind of like a good amount scattered. Like, maybe like a few hundred dragons all throughout the world. Maybe like not a few hundred, but maybe like imagine like a couple dozen dragons hidden somewhere in the world. Like, they're all just kind of like keeping themselves hiding, trying not to get caught, and maybe unaware that Acnologia is gone. Who knows? Either way, yeah, Georg has a lot of my attention. I think that he will just give us a bounty of general lore once we actually see him step up to the plate. And his design is really cool, so like I would love to see what he's like in action, especially like on top of the idea of like if he's got multiple Slayer types. I really want to know what his primary one is, because even if he's got multiple types, I assume there's one that he had first and that he uses like as his serious mode. Like, if you gave Natsu 5 different dragon slaying attributes, like, fire would still be his, like, main go-to. It would still be like, yeah, this is my best one. I would assume that same thing for someone like Georg. God Serena probably was like that as well. We didn't get enough of him. Like, if he was, he either had to be, like, well-rounded on all of them or have, like, a pick. I would assume that if you've got all these elements and stuff, there's going to be one that you primarily focus on. Unlike, you have, like, Avatar. Like, the Avatars, like, whatever their original one was before they started doing all the other elements, that's like, always been their go-to. That's, like, the primary one that they've always used, because it's the one that they're most kind of experienced with. But anyway, yeah, the Georg, I can't wait to figure out more about this dude. Like, he's been this weird mystery character sitting in the back, kind of like Elefsaria, who's sort of tied to the story, but not, like, really. Like, he hasn't really done anything yet. We've been in for a while. Like, Elefsaria and him have been in the story since, like, Elefsaria was there since the Star Hunter's quest, and we've had Georg since the end of the Mercephobia fight. So these are two characters that have, like, clearly have big information and big lore, like, roles and existences, but we just have gotten next to nothing about them. So, like, this bit that we got from Suzaku about Georg being, like, the true dragon, or he was the one to fall Kurunugi, and I'd be willing to bet that he was the one to defeat the other Black Dragon Slayer Knights. Dragons, maybe one of them was able to defeat them by themselves. That guy will have two, whoever that is, guy or chick, that have 2 types. Who knows? Either way, like, I can't wait to see more of what this guy's going to reveal and whatever next he's going to give us. Because, like, even in here, like, he's one of those characters, like, anytime you know that his existence is brought up so far, like, stuff is moving. Plot is moving. Information is moving. We're getting stuff. Actually, you know what I just noticed? In this picture, he's got, like, I understood the bracer around his wrist, but one of those metal bands is directly on his bicep. So it's like, if he flexes, is he going to rip that in half? Or, like, how's that going to work? Because he's a big dude. But anyway, yeah, so other than that, like I said, Georg holds a lot of just general story info that he can give us. And every single time that he's either been talked about or come on screen, things have been moved, and we've gotten new bits of lore and information that have been very valuable and really fun to get. I mean, other than that, though, comment below, thumbs up the video, friend the like button, subscribe button, check out my other videos. But than that, I appreciate everybody's already subscribed, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.